Hey guys, what's going on? It's Andrew from AR Media. In tonight's video I want to review my iPad Pro 10.5 inch and the HDR and Dolby Vision portion of that. Now after having this a couple of months and watching tons of HDR and Dolby Vision content on it, I want to go over the iPad Pro itself, how the content fares on it, and if it's worth the pickup. Let's get to it. So I originally picked up the iPad Pro 10.5 inch a couple months ago, and I picked it up for work, but also I picked it up honestly mainly to watch Dolby Vision and HDR content. It's really nice for when I'm away. I'm on business trips a lot. I have to go away a lot. I'm in hotels a lot, and it's really nice to have that HDR option. So before even this review, I'll go over a couple of things. So clearly, the iPad Pro does not have a 4K screen. So the movies you'll be downloading to the iPad Pro will not be in 4K, they will be in 1080p resolution. Now the thing is, they'll be in 1080p resolution, but the HDR files will come along with it. And I will say that those are pretty big in size, ranging from 5 gigabytes to 15 gigabytes. It could be 20 gigs for a movie downloaded with HDR for some of them like Transformers. Now what I will say is, 1080p on a screen this small, 10.5 inches is pretty small, looks absolutely fantastic, especially with Apple's Retina display. 4K on a screen this small would not scale very well. I mean, eventually we will see it, but the 1080p resolution is definitely not a downside to this at all. So now let's get to the quality of these movies. Now, I've watched a ton of movies on here. I watched Logan, I watched X-Men, I watched some comedies like Mike and Dave, Why Him. I really went through the whole genre, all the aspects. I watched some horror as well. And what I will say about the movies is that on the brighter scenes and on the colorful scenes, there is a major difference. You see a lot more richness to the colors, you see a lot more nuances to the color, and this is in all movies. I would say actually especially comedies, because those are mostly not shot on film, they're shot digitally with a lot of bright, colorful images, and those look absolutely wonderful. Why Him is a great example of that. Split is also another great example of that on the iPad. That's a noteworthy one that stood out when I was watching it, and I will say that they look razor sharp on the iPad, even for being 1080p. Now it really does fare well in the bright areas, but the thing is, for the pros, there is some cons. So the pros, we get a really sharp image, like I said, on that 1080p screen on the 10.5 inch. The HDR looks absolutely phenomenal. The contrast is great. It is very bright, goes up to 600 nits, so the brightness is definitely there. But there's some cons here. So the thing is, you're getting an LED or LCD panel here that has no local dimming. It has nothing like that. So the brightness is uniform for the whole display. So clearly the darker scenes are not going to be as good. Now don't get me wrong, the shadow detail in these HDR movies is better than without HDR, that's for sure, but it's nothing like watching it on a TV. You will get a lot more black crush on a TV on this than you will on a TV, but that's to be expected. There is no local dimming or anything like that, so when you pump it at full brightness and it goes to a completely pitch black scene, you're going to see that grayish look. Anyway guys, I do think that this watching experience is phenomenal, especially for on the go. It's great that all these 4Ks come with codes, and Apple has been really good at getting the 4K HDR or Dolby Vision copies straight to iTunes right away. So it's really nice when I'm on vacation having basically my 4K collection with HDR along with me to watch at any time. And I will have to say that that really makes it worth it for me personally. Now also, this is great at doing a ton of other tasks. I got the Apple Pencil as well. It's awesome for drawing, but that's for another video. Anyway guys, let me know down below if you got an iPad Pro, what your thoughts are on it, and have a good day guys.